up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if you are a big unk, and by unk I mean Uncle Tom, Shannon Sharpe, you have just got the worst news of your life. Y'all, Shannon Sharpe, if you guys don't know, is being sued by a tender young 26-year-old. Yes, Unk is pushing 60, but he letting you know he not letting those rumors or a 30 age gap drop. If you guys don't know, Tony Buzbee is the lawyer representing the victim. Okay, her name is Gabriella Zuniga. Don't Google her because they're trying to say that Gabrielle Zuniga is not the same one with Shannon Sharpe. That don't matter. Where are we at? Tony Buzbee was representing. We did say, yo, since this is a Buzbee case and Buzbee pretty much lost all credibility after the way he acted in those Diddy cases, not the victims, but the way he go watch my old videos. The whole point is because Buzbee couldn't produce any proof of any of the Diddy accusations and dismissed half of them with prejudice, he lost a little bit of credibility. So I was like, we don't know if this is true or not. We believe all victims. Let's see if Buzbee comes out with any more info. Well, guess what? Miss Gabrielle Zazinga said, baby, I'll drop it. And she just leaked some really, really disturbing audio that got Shannon coming across as a weirdo. I started listening to it. And I had to stop and come on live and listen to it with y'all together. But y'all, also, Unk did not let us down. He put on his best church suit. He sat there with his Reverend Al Reynolds. Let me show y'all a little bit. I'm going to play this video too. Unk gave us a Face the Nation. Where's he at? Unk gave us a Face the Nation podcast. Look, he got his arms, his hands folded like a prayer warrior. And Unk gave us a Face the Nation thing. Literally was like, people of Earth, some disturbing claims. Now, listen, I know Unk did his thing on the Club Shay Shay interview, but Shannon, stop it. You are not the president. Ain't nobody eagerly awaiting your response, but he letting somebody know. He letting that girl know you ain't getting a penny of my $100 million deal. Now, let's get into this. Do y'all want to hear the audio first, or do y'all want to hear what's being said, or do y'all want to hear? Well, you got to wait until the end to see here, Shannon. All right, so listen, hold on really quick, you guys. Let me get this set up for y'all. When I tell y'all, listen, regardless of what actually happened with this, I said this on my live stream yesterday. Shannon Sharpe to me is the biggest loser because it came out saying that he is really, really into race play. All right, he is into race play, and baby, again, he's literally paying somebody $25K to kiss each cheek. That's $50K to spit in your face and call you a ninja. Shannon, I know a few of your ex-girlfriends that would have did that for free. I'm just saying, all right? Get this. One of the most disturbing things that came from this is she's 26 years old. Shannon Sharpe is 56. That is a 30-year difference. I was already disgusted at that because a 26-year-old, you're still young. Even if you think you got your ways, you're still young. But guess what? The most disturbing thing that ever came out about this is that she was actually 19 years old when he started dating her. She was 19 years old, fresh out of her mama's house when this man started dating her and doing all this other stuff. So when this girl in this video sounds super, super young, super, super naive, know that this woman is only 19 years old. And listen to the way that this man is talking to her, this grown man. Now, let me say, there was a bunch of weirdos in my comments yesterday talking about, you just jealous because men want young women. Baby, if you'll do 19, you'll do 18, you'll do 17. Where does it actually stop? When she looks grown to you, oh, that's because young women stay in line. They do, because they want to make sure they get ice cream for dinner and they get snacks of Teddy Grahams and apple juice if they act right. That's why they stay in line. In any case, Shannon was only 19 when they started dating. Listen to this. This is confirmation from Lauren LaRosa on The Breakfast Club. Listen to this.
Not against the law because she was of age. So even though she was 19, that's not against the law.
This is a very, very messy situation. I don't know what's true and what's not true, but I have no idea why a 54-year-old man is dating a 19, 20-year-old. I know y'all like to be out here bragging about smashing these young things, but that's not a flex to me. You 54 years old, you should be laid up with your wife and kids, taking your cholesterol medicine, minding your damn business. We need discipline and stability. And I ain't talking about just Shannon. I'm just talking about all of us in general. Men need discipline and stability. Find you one woman and settle your ass down, okay?
I agree with you, but it's not against the law. As long as the person's over a certain age, it is not against the law. So legalities, that's not against the law.
Okay, so first of all, Envy, shut up. Discipline and stability. Envy, you the last one that can comment. And as much as I always drag Charlemagne, I agree. Sorry, y'all. I'm struggling over here. I agree a little bit with what Charlemagne is actually saying. I do want to say that this whole debate about whether 19 is too young and this and that, baby, see if you want your daughter or son at 19 coming home with someone literally old enough to be their granddaddy, definitely old enough to be their dad, definitely old enough to be their mom, and not a young mom, a mom that literally focused on her career. They went to grad school, they worked a few jobs, they settled down, they had some fun, they vacationed in Europe for a few summers, and now at the ripe old age of 40, you want to settle anyway. Forget about this, right? This is truly, truly disgusting. So now that we know this girl was only 19, women, if y'all gonna be, let me see what the comments are saying. Now that we know that this girl is 19, right? I think that at the end of the day, like now that we know that this girl's 19, it puts a different spin on. And I realize, and this is why these conversations are good to have. I realize a bunch of pervies come out with stuff like this because they want to defend their right to actually date babies out their house. And this goes for men and women. I don't think any 60-year-old or somebody close to 60 should be even touching a 20-year-old. It is weird. And the fact that they don't see anything wrong with it, baby, you are going to be their horror story in 20 years. But again, I will say that if you are 54 messing with a 20-year-old, there's a reason. Women or men your own age don't see you. For instance, Joe Phantom responded, go take your Geritol. I will take my Geritol, Joe, but I will invite you to get an MFing job and get off of my thing. This is how we know that you don't got a woman. And this is how you know you're so pathetic that even when you're hanging outside of people's high school proms, you still can't get anyone to take you seriously. Because if you could, you'd be laid up beside them instead of being in my comments. So in any case, let's go. Talking about take your Geritol. Joe, stop projecting. You are the one that definitely need Geritol, and you need some unspoken riz, because it's sad when even 18-year-olds see you are a loser. But welcome to the comment section. Thank you, Joe, for joining. If you have done nothing good in your life, at least you can run up my comments. I really, really do appreciate this, okay? Again, men like younger women, why are you in my comments? Go be with younger women. Like, go forth and multiply. But y'all can't, and y'all won't. Y'all can't. Senior prom season's coming up. She might be impressed that you got a car that you can drop her off at prom, but you can't go inside because you know now they card an ID because the law looks down on it. So even if she is 18, they still not gonna let you into the prom because there's other 17 and little kids around, so you can't even come in. But thank you for telling me what men like. Clearly, whatever men like, y'all don't have it because y'all in my comments. So congratulations. Anyway, right? Listen. Oh, sorry. Joe, if you were talking about Shannon, I apologize. That is for the next person. Sorry about that, Joe. All right, listen. First of all, we are having a live reaction. Let's hear this leaked audio that the race play aficionado Shannon Sharpe likes. I will say this about Shannon. He is literally, listen. A lot of people say this sounds like a money grab. Yes, that's what a civil case is. All civil cases are a money grab. In America, it is legal to date. So if somebody literally actually, she could refer this for criminal complaints too, but let's see, right? Listen, yes, it seems like Tony Buzbee was trying to get money out of Shannon Sharpe under the threat of releasing humiliating videos and messages that reveals he's into some very sick and demeaning. Oh, Miss Daisy, master gonna get mad if I in your bed past 10 o'clock. Because, it seemed like they were into that slave play, that bracelet. It seemed like that was what they were into. He come hopping in, playing Django Unchained. Miss Daisy, are you sure master said? She also told him to turn around and bust it open so she can put her tongue in his Underground Railroad. I guess that was part of it. And she also kept saying that she wanted a big black baby. And the thing is that was so disgusting about it was, one, she sounds racist. Two, because when people say, let me just say this, We get into the audio in a second. When people say, oh, race play isn't a big deal. You're just doing it to get money. You're trying to survive. First of all, shut up. And you no, unless you are on the street, I want to see. And let me tell you something. If you're trying to survive and somebody told you to go in with a golden doodle and bust it open for a player, would you do it? No, 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 no. If somebody told you to go to a kindergartner and see what that thing do, would you do it? Absolutely not. So if you have limits on that, why wouldn't you have limits on racism? Unless you're okay with the racism and this is just another job, you're willing to look over it. So that's her thing. But with Shannon, the fact that somebody was being racist and it was turning you on, you was into it, baby, Shannon, this is humiliating for you. Listen, the added layer is that she's super young. And the interesting thing is, somewhere along the line, Shannon Sharpe no longer cared about being exposed for his weirdo creepazoid kinks. Again, it's not illegal. Nobody's being thrown in jail, but someone that people would look at as respect has disrespected and humiliated themselves and literally turned them into like just something disgusting or whatever. Anyway, let's get into this, right? Listen, let's get into this. Uh, Listen, here's the thing. Somebody says, I know a white man who's 56 dating a 30-year-old woman who he only sees on the weekends and pays her when she leaves. Basically prostitute. Maybe, but Shannon was 54 dating a 19-year-old. So yeah, it hits different like that. Basically prostitute or yeah, basically, but I don't look at it as prostitute. I look at it as exploitation because I don't care what nobody says. There is no way a 30-year-old can run game on a 56-year-old. There's just no way. It's like a 5-year-old trying to run game on me for extra cookies and milk. Even if I go along with it, I see what you're doing. I see where your works. Like you're not going to outsmart me. Anyway, let's get into Shannon and this leaked audio that his victim just dropped. And then we're going to get into Shannon's Face the Nation podcast. Look at Unc. Look at him. Addressing it in his Sunday suit finest. Even though, Shannon, why is this man addicted to size medium suits? Why he always got his little brother suit on? Why? What is it about men? Reverend Al Sharpton, even though he don't got Shannon Sharpe's body, Reverend Al Sharpton looked like he did with Ozempic, bobblehead, that fresh blowback bobblehead over the little skinny fat stick legs hobbling around, but he got that Italian suit cut within an inch of his life. What is it about men that once they get over 55, not all men, but some men, they like those medium shorts. It's like that you still trying to compete with these men out in their 30s, baby. A man in his 30s can come with basketball shorts and a dirty tank top, and he's still gonna be stepping on you. Stop with the medium shoes. What is this? Like, and also, can I just say this for PR? If Shannon Sharpe is trying to convince us of everything, he got on a size medium Sunday suit, blue check, right? Literally, the lines are warped. And I think he liked it like that. Like, they're like, well, we need to get more fabric because the lines are bulging. And he's like, no, I like that. They show them titties are sitting pretty. He wanted them to be sitting up there, right? So you got that. But then also, the gold chain, is that gold or is that diamonds? It might be multicolored diamonds. I don't know. The white t-shirt, the watch, the bracelet. I'm going to say he looks a little bit untrustworthy. When I say untrustworthy, you're trying to look like an angel. You're trying to look like a choir boy. And this is the best you could do. Who is your PR person? Fire them immediately. They did you wrong. Fire them immediately. What is this? You don't look professional. You don't look like an angel or a choir boy. And when you exposed yourself through text messages to being into like Miss Daisy, can I come? Literally, your buck fantasies of being broken and impregnating master's wife. Is this really what you're going to do? And again, before y'all come in the comments, baby, I don't care about interracial relationships. Love who you love, black, white, purple, Rican. I don't care. Haitian, Asian, I don't care. Do what you want. It's the self-hate that he projects outwards. That's like a really, really weird thing. And also these women that are down for it. The fact that you're fine to go along with this. And Shannon was like, oh my God, I can't believe she would resort to blackmailing me. You mean someone that you was paying to basically spit in your, I'm paraphrasing, to spit in your face and call you a ninja, and said she couldn't wait to have a big black ninja baby inside of her, and she would give you everything when you was ready to give her a big black ninja, and she was spitting in your face and calling you a ninja. You can't believe that they didn't respect you. You can't believe that they weren't going to go for it. You can't believe they weren't a trustworthy individual. Baby, let's go, right? Listen, um, listen. Again, Shannon Sharpe thought he was doing something by outing this girl. Also, she is an OnlyFans model. But Shannon, what are you doing 56 dating an 19-year-old OnlyFans model? Anyway, let's get into what the victim, what she released, and then we're going to get into what Shannon said. Let's go. Hold on. Like,
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what? What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
oh no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
oh my God. Thank you. Okay. Come on. Give us a juice. Okay.
I don't.
This is sad. This is sad.
What?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Okay. So one, right? One thing for certain, two things for sure. First of all, what do y'all think about that audio? Now, it was a lot. Him being like, you better shut up, I'm gonna come over and choke the bunk out of you, right? But Tony Buzbee phrased this as an argument. It was sad at first when she was like, well, acting like she was talking to her father. But then the end, it kind of turned sexual. Or maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. She sounded really, I don't know. I don't like dynamics like that. That's not my thing. Somebody from that community be there. That's not my thing, those dynamics. So to me, it sounds like if you were on the phone with a woman your age or even an age appropriate woman and she's trying to tell you, no, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, you better shut up before I come over there and the mess out of you. Like that's abuse. That's mental abuse. Even the way she got real quiet and was considering her words, almost like the way if your parents tell you, you better shut up and revise your words, and you sitting there talking about something. You're trying to not get on their nerves, right? I don't understand him, right? I don't understand what he thinks he's doing. We already didn't believe Buzbee after the way he didn't come with any evidence with the Diddy stuff, okay? So you could have just played it like, it's Tony Buzbee. Alex Sparrow did all the work. Listen, I do believe Diddy's guilty. Y'all know. Y'all saw my videos about Buzbee. I thought he was telling the truth. But when he didn't come with any receipts, it's like, okay, what you want me to do? However, he could have, this man, Shannon Sharpe, could have easily just been like, come on, it's Tony Buzbee. You just saw what happened with Jay. Come on, it's your boy. Remember the Cat Williams interview? That's all he had to say. Instead, you literally let us know that you're into Django Unchained fantasies. You literally are talking grimy to someone's 19-year-old, which is 2 years above legal. That's crazy. And I'm thinking the founding fathers, when they said that, didn't think there'd be some creepy 50-year-old being like, oh yeah, rubbing their hands together like Birdman, talking about it's my time to shine. As soon as 18 hits a thing, they envisioned that it would be like, I don't know, maybe 25, 26-year-olds dating 18-year-olds. The fact that, and then you telling her to shut the F up, and she's sitting there really like she's talking to her dad, trying to think her words, like, even though my dad would never, ever threaten to put his hand. So, like, you talk about my mom, talking to your mom, like, let me just measure my words because I don't want her to unleash the dragon. So you just sitting there like, what'd you say? Nothing. I don't want to get popped in the mouth. Okay, I'll wash the dishes. Like, at the end of the day, this was very, very weird. And let me tell you something. If you are a young girl watching this right now and there's an old man trying to run, they are trying to steal your youth. They are trying to steal your beauty. They are trying to steal that special type of energy that people have when they are 19. Energy and beauty evolves, but there's a special type of energy and beauty that you only have when you're 19. Now, a lot of people don't want to sit across and have conversations with someone that is 19, because when you're to the mental, it can be very jarring, like, oh my God, I don't want to hear about what happened between Ari and Jada. But for most people, it's like they will suck you dry and you will be looking like you are going on 44 when you only are 25. And it's going to take you 2 years of sleep to get that beauty back. I'm just saying. Anyway, y'all, what do y'all think about this? I think that this proves everything this girl was saying. And I think that if you get a woman jury who has been, or not, and I don't want to turn into woman and man, because lots of men have been emotionally abused too, but they won't say it because in society people laugh and they take it as a joke. But if anybody on that jury has ever been in a physically or emotionally abusive relationship, they're going to convict you guilty. Because what was that? What was that? What was that? Let me just replay this really quick for y'all, because I'm confused. What was that? And this is what you know what? We'll replay it in a second. Let's get to Shannon's response, because this is the part that I'm just like a little confused about. Now, I will ignore his like scammy preacher from New Orleans outfit that is driving a gold-plated Cadillac and dressed in a tacky tailored suit, why the congregation don't even have money for the lights on. That's why they got to have a service at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because the church don't even have lights. They just got to open all the windows. I'm not saying he is giving that type of scammy, but was this really the best choice when you're trying to, you just got that leaked. And this is what your PR, and make no mistake, Shannon Sharpe got a whole PR team behind him. This is what his PR team told him to put on. You still thought that you had to be your special brand of smexy to instill hope. To me, that makes you look a little bit crazy. This is what I'm talking about, if y'all know. To me, where's Shannon's response? Hold on. To me, where is it at? Can y'all see it? Hold on, let me upload it while I'm talking trash. God probably took it off. Like, that's enough, young lady. But honestly, to me, this just seems like it's really, really weird. You know what I'm saying? Let's go into this. This is the best your PR team could have you do. Hold on, let's put this on the screen. Let's do a pause. Let's blow this up. Hold on, y'all. Look at this mess. Who is this PR people? Do I have to teach y'all everything? Who is this? You look like you robbing the congregation blind. You look like you robbing the congregation blind. And you got the nerve to have checks, no suit. This man better not have both AirPods in. And he had the nerve. You know what, though, I will say? She's an OnlyFans model, and I'm not saying OnlyFans model only date people for money, but it sounds like he likes Smex workers. And I'm not saying, like, you know, I'm not calling it, I'm just saying he likes that dynamic. But also, how could you imagine 19 years old? 19 years old, and this man come to you with both AirPods in his ears, a watch and a bracelet, his size medium suit, sauntering over with those blue legs. He probably got some, like, you know, they wear those pants that look like leggings, and that t-shirt, and this little My Little Pony diamond. That another thing, Shannon, you are trying to look trustworthy, a man of God. Why do you have a tennis bracelet necklace of multicolored diamonds going across this t-shirt? I mean, you are a walking red flag right now. And any woman that's ever met a walking red flag will be like, you sending all the signals just visually. It's a bad look. You got a My Little Pony tennis brace diamond necklace. You look like if we put a cowboy hat on, you look like a pimp named Slickback. What are you doing, Shannon? Again, I'm not saying this could be a different look in another situation. Maybe if you went to like an Anita Baker situation, Anita Baker concert, and you were trying to stunt on all the other uncles, maybe this would be appropriate. But then again, you wouldn't be there because you're trying to be at the Meg Thee Stallion and Glorilla concerts, literally trying to pick up these 20-year-olds. So again, it's still not appropriate for who your intended audience is. And you dressing like that, and people, and these old heads, men like younger women, dummy. If a younger woman is talking to you looking like that, baby, lots of money. Give me all your money. What is it? You better put on, when you see, if you walk into a party dressed like that with 20-year-olds, which are your thing, all I hear is JT's shaking ass with my hands out. That's all I hear. She gonna be shaking that thing with her hand out. Literally, y'all know, and y'all know what I'm talking about. That's what it is. Like, what else could it be? But anyway, listen, let's get into Unc telling us and his Face the Nation, People of Earth podcast. Let me zoom in on this. Look at this My Little Pony. You're supposed to be looking, hold on, let me go into this My Little Pony mess. Like, are you serious? Let me just blow this up real quick. Look at this mess. You got on a My Little Pony tennis bracelet. You got the nerve to have on, this is probably some, like, look at this. It's so tight, you are warping the lines. You're warping the lines. Literally, the pocket is literally being stretched out. Like you got this from Express Men's circa 2015. Are you saying, hey, listen, and you got the nerve to have on a diamond Cartier bracelet and an old head gold Rolex? I am tired of this ninja. I am tired. And you got, I can't. I'm tired. Anyway, let's see what Unc has to say. Let me just zoom in on this right quick, and like, so y'all can see my disgusted reaction as it goes. Hold on. Like, what is this mess? Got the nerve to have on diamonds. Talking about all these women just want me for my money. Shut up. Meanwhile, to get a 20-year-old to look at you, you got to walk in like this, literally taping dollar bills to your head, your foot, your booty, because that's what she was doing, sticking her tongue in your Underground Railroad you was begging her for, literally. And then they only want me for my money. Shut up. And when I say young girls, I'm talking about people young in the mind. I dare anybody to say that a 19-year-old man or woman is emotionally or even mentally fit to enter into someone that has lived their life. They're just not. It's very predatory, but that's my opinion, man or woman. That's my opinion. Let's get into Unc's response. Oh, hold on. Let's get into Unc's response. Hold on. Let's rewind this. Okay. Hold on. Are we having technical difficulties? Hold on really quick. I know I'm echoing. Hold on. And let's do this. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay.
I want to speak to you directly and from the heart.
Shaking ass with my hands out.
I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
Pause. Okay, you know what? I'll let this play out. Y'all hate when I interrupt, but I'm going to come back to this part. Hold in your mind.
Should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I'll ruin myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation. And now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all of you guys.
So a couple of thoughts. Your family and fans going to be, is this the same grandmother that used to tease you about being color struck? Is this the same man that said that the NFL, if you need a girlfriend or a wife, you need them to look a certain way, either white or exotic? And again, this ain't about interracial dating. I don't care who anybody dates, who, however, what. It's about the fact that who's going to defend you against race play? Maybe that is a kink for someone. It's not my kink, right? So who's going to defend you against that? On top of that, this explains, before I give my commentary, this explains that weird press release he made yesterday. He's getting in front of a bunch of leaks that are going to have him looking crazy. Listen, Shannon, you did give us the Cat Williams interview. And for that, listen, Cat Williams gave you a thriving, not saying he was doing bad, but he gave you a thriving channel. You just signed a $100 million deal because of that. But who's defending you after that? Like, do you really have the fans you think you do? I don't know. I'm not a football person, so maybe you do. Anyway, right? In one video, Shannon can be, they said in one video, Shannon can be, because this is in the video that Shannon's saying, hey, Tony, why don't you release the full 2 minutes? Shannon, whoever, and I'm going to say this with all the pseudo love in my heart, whoever is your PR person is your ops. If you were doing this on your own, you are a plumb fool. You are a plumb fool. Why would you ask people to release? And I get it. You don't want to pay this girl that 50 million. I get it. But why would you ask for this 10 million highly humiliating tape to be released? Why would you want this? I would move for this to be actually a closed case, so none of this could actually be out there. But again, here's what it says in the tape, because you know Tony Buzbee dropped some receipts. He said, oh, Lord, have mercy. Sharpe can be, this is at TMZ, can be heard saying in response to Jane Doe. If you, oh, no. Oh, so he's saying in response that even though he said, shut the F up because I come, it said, if you say one more, if you say that word one more time, I'm going to F and choke the ish out of you when I see you. Right? So he released that text message yesterday because he said it showed that that's what she's into. Because apparently one time in a multi-year, 2-year relationship, she said, asked him to put a dog collar around my neck and her with it while you're effing me. It's also clear. Okay. Anyway, let's get back into this. So Buzbee has released a new statement. He said the statement from Shannon Sharpe's newest lawyer falsely accuses Miss Jane Doe of editing a video, a claim that is not only demonstrably false, but also desperate. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to read this in my Tony Buzbee voice because every time I hear this, I hear in the heat of the night. The lawyer also suggests that Miss Joe refused to make the video available to Mr. Sharpe again. This assertion is easily proven untrue. In fact, Miss Doe insisted that he watch it. Here's what is true. Although Jane Doe never referenced any video or multiple audios that she possesses in the lawsuit that she filed, now that Shannon Sharpe's lawyer has decided to broach that subject, we will address it. An incredibly damning video does indeed exist. The context of that video speaks volumes about Mr. Sharpe and his behavior. That video, which will be played to the jury, is extremely problematic for Mr. Sharpe. Sharpe's team, as I anticipated, disclosed the existence of this video in an effort to try and get ahead of it. That effort will fall flat. In his statement, Mr. Sharpe's attorney references several texts. Every text that Mrs. Sharpe's counsel released today, purportedly from Jane Doe, are dated prior to that alleged brutal assault set forth in Jane Doe's case. Those texts were obviously released in an effort to distract the public's attention from the allegations in Jane Doe's lawsuit. It will not work. A little history. Back in early February, our office contacted Mr. Sharpe in February. You know this has been hovering around. So this blasts everybody's thing when they're like, this is just a cash grab because he got that 100 million. They've been negotiating since February. It's now May. She would have no way of knowing. So that means as soon as she was assaulted, she took action and she got counsel. I wonder if she actually reported it to the Popo. That's the only question. Let's keep going. I'm going to give you my comments on Reverend Minister Pimp named Slipback. This was a horrible effing outfit to show up with this. I'm not saying this wouldn't be appropriate in a Anita Baker concert. I am saying that when you are trying to instill, it's like if I'm being accused of being a city girl and they saying that I'm drugging and raping men and taking all their money, and I show up with my tatas out, take these boho braids out, do a wash and go set, have the tatas pushed up, you see everything. I'm sitting there with dripped in diamonds, and I'm like sitting there like, a lot of disturbing claims have come out about Tisa Tells, but I want you guys to know that that's not me. Y'all would look at me and be like, Tisa, are you out of your mind? You have been accused of being a city girl, rugging and robbing men and doing all this stuff, and you showing up looking like you going to the club. Tatas out, dripped in diamonds, hair laid, makeup done, everything. And I got a tight shirt on, just being like, I want everyone to know I will never, ever do that. Ever. As a matter of fact, these men were being very, very bad boys. That is literally like me doing that. It would be insane. You would be like, Tisa, stop. Shh. Be quiet. Stop talking. That's the same advice I'm giving Unc. Anyway, right? They said a little history. This is back to Tony Buzbee's new statement. Back in early February, our office contacted Mr. Sharpe on behalf of Jane Doe and broached the subject of a meeting. Multiple conversations took place. Ultimately, the mediation occurred. Mr. Sharpe was represented by different lawyers in that mediation. The mediation process went on for more than 6 weeks, ultimately leading to Mr. Sharpe making an incredibly significant offer to settle. What, Unc? You tried to settle and it was a significant amount and you tried to settle? All right. Ultimately, Jane Doe refused the hefty sum offered by Sharpe and instead filed this case. So I'm guessing they're suing for 50 and Tony Buzbee saying it's substantial. I'm guessing that it was north of it. It was at least a 6, 7. It was probably somewhere in the low 7 digits, maybe like 2-3 million. I'm guessing that's hefty. Prior to engaging in the mediation process, Mr. Sharpe's counsel insisted on Jane Doe signing a confidentiality agreement. Mr. Sharpe's attorneys has now breached that agreement, while at the same time deliberately revealing Jane Doe's name, phone number, and private messages that again predate the alleged rape. That was a grievous error on Mr. Sharpe's part, because now all the things discussed and revealed in the mediation process will be at some point revealed. Shannon Sharpe got to be the biggest dummy on the world. You are so, but you know what? I love it for you. I love to see that. That's what you get. That's what you get. Apparently, you weren't having race play, baby. You were just being yourself. First of all, you released this girl's name, phone number, and private messages, and you literally shut down the mediation all because you wanted to get this one off. As set forth in the filed lawsuit, Shannon Sharpe's conduct throughout the 2-year relationship reveals a pattern of narcissism, I believe that just like that, manipulation, and coercive control. It grew progressively worse. Shannon Sharpe's new lawyer claims in his statement that the evidence paints a clear picture. He's right about that. It's just not the picture he wants the public to see. Again, although we will save the video discussed by Shannon's lawyers for the courtroom, I would suggest that Shannon's new lawyer take a moment to listen to his client at a different time on audio and ask his client for the real story, the truth. In the attached audio, which was captured near the end of their relationship, Shannon threatens to choke the ish out of Jane Doe. The contents of this clip are certainly not sexual. They are not playful. They are instead disturbing, aggressive, and dangerous. This audio paints a very clear picture of how Sharpe treated Jane Doe, leading her to escape from him by leaving Nevada and blocking all contact with them. This is not the first time that Mr. Sharpe has faced allegations of mistreating a woman. He was also sued in New York for alleged aggressive and inappropriate behavior, detailed extensively in this lawsuit. I have the lawsuit, you guys. Let me know if you want me to go live and read it. Instead of owning up to his actions, Shannon has chosen to mislead his lawyers and the public and double down, this time by doxing Jane Doe, attempting to humiliate and silence this woman who is 30 years his junior. Shannon's aggressive approach will instead have an opposite effect. Miss Doe is not afraid of the truth. She relies upon it. I look forward to presenting the evidence in this case through the judicial process, where the truth matters more than a sports icon's desperate public spin. This is wild. This is wild. Shannon is a creep. You release a video calling this a shakedown, and get this, it being a shakedown doesn't make it any less creepy for you being an old weirdo doing race play with college age white girls at 57 years old. College age. You are letting someone that literally is still wiping the Fruit Loops milk off the bottom of their chin, spit in your face and call you a ninja? Shannon, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God, get this. Shannon Sharpe's attorney denies that their team was ever extended an offer to see the video in full. He did confirm to me that only Shannon Sharpe's attorneys were shown the tape, but they alleged they were shown an edited. This is Lauren Lorenzo from the Breakfast Club, her Twitter. But they did allege they were shown an edited version of the video, which they confirmed was edited after explaining it to Shannon Sharpe. Shannon's attorneys say they described it to Shannon Sharpe, saying it's short length and describing the content, and Shannon Sharpe was convinced it was edited. Shannon's attorneys allege they then asked Mr. Buzbee for a copy of the tape to determine with a neutral expert whether it was edited, and he refused. Their attorneys also allege that Buzbee has misleadingly disclosed the discussions with the mediator. Ms. Zuniga demands tens of millions of dollars in returns for her not going public. So now you're claiming that the video was edited with zero proof? Based on what? Your vibes and instincts, Shannon? How do you know that it was edited? How? How do you know that it was edited at all? You remember this conversation distinctly? Again, they were going to settle. I do say this. I wonder what made them back out and not settle. I bet you it was honestly how Alex Sparrow, on behalf of Jay-Z, went after that Jane Doe and completely destroyed Tony Buzbee's reputation. I think after that, Shannon Sharpe was probably confident that he could win in the court of public opinion and not lose any sponsorships or jobs. All right. Listen, yeah, listen. Again, some people say it sounds like that girl is low-key flirting with Shannon. I don't know. I'm not into that. So it don't seem like that with me. And I'm not judging if you are. If you are into that, let me know if that's like the way it sounds. I'm just saying off the bat, it didn't sound like that. You know what I'm saying? They said black men are the biggest tools to white supremacists, weakest links. No, hold on. I was made by a black man, right? Married to a black woman. And I got a bunch of black men. Like, no, black men are not the weakest link at all. However, men like Shannon Sharpe, regardless of race, color, creed, religion, and thank you so much for the super chat, positivity, happiness, they are the weakest links. They really are. Men that think like this, regardless of color, they tyranny of oppression of all women. I think we notice it more when a black man says, because we're black, but all men in every race, there's a certain segment that's like that got that problem. there's a certain segment. But yo, like, thank you for the super chat. No, certain men like that are the biggest tools to white supremacy, and they want to claim it. But as somebody raised by a black man, married to a black woman with plenty of black male siblings, cousins, uncles, nah, baby, they ate, they eat. That's all I'm gonna say. When a real man, like, they eat. Anytime you can send a man to the store and they can get exactly what type of oil you need for your scalp treatment, you can send them to the beauty supply and be like, yo, I need like wet and wavy boho, and they'll stand there and FaceTime you from the store and be like, this type, and have the lady combing her fingers through it so they get the right type of hair. Baby, they got there. Just saying. My dad been to the beauty supply plenty of times for me, as has people in my family whenever I'm braiding my hair and run out of hair. Anyway, right? Listen, at the end of the day, I think that there is something called toxic masculinity, and it shows itself in all different races. This is how it shows up in black men, but I'm not even going to put this, Shannon, you are on your own. Once you show yourself to be a weirdo, no, you don't get that black man handle. Nah, Shannon, no. Especially with that race play, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But listen, I just want to say, listen, yeah, exactly. Who said this? Sunset. What's up, Sunset? Yep. Shannon is a D writer. This isn't a racial thing. Exactly. Listen. Somebody said, I really don't care about this man who hates black women. I don't either. I just want her to release the tape of her strapped and begging him so he can go away from picking a black woman. Listen. He gonna be on some See China, please have mercy. I don't get paid till the end of the week. Shut up and grease my feet. He's giving See China, Peggy. That's what he's giving. That is what he is giving. Listen, that is what he's given. Listen, what do y'all think? What do y'all honestly think about this? I think this is a hot mess. I do think he needs to leave those young women alone, just because, like, you can't have it both ways. You can't deal with someone that is fresh, young, naive, and a tenderoni, and then act like, because this is what I don't understand. These men, they're like, men like younger women, but you don't want to deal with the consequences of dating a younger woman, right? When you deal with someone, and this goes if you're dating younger men or women, and by young, I mean young, not like if you in your 50s and you dating somebody early 30s. It's like, okay, but young. When you are dealing with somebody with that young, their emotions are more sensitive. They do get more hurt. They do take things too far. They are dramatic. They are extra. They are doing too much. They do get like vendettas. They do become Division I crash outs. Everybody when they were 19 was a Division I crash out. When you're 19 is when you are keying cars up, fighting people, doing it. Like, everybody is crashing out when they're that age. So you can't date someone that statistically is odds to be a crash out and go crazy and try to ruin you and take things too far. So you want the benefits of dating a 19-year-old, but that's like me being like, oh, I want to be best friends with a 12-year-old and then complaining, oh my God, they're so immature. They don't know how to act. They took things too far. This and that. They wouldn't, like, you can't have it both ways. If you are dating somebody with a child like mine, you have to expect that if you do something to hurt them, they will respond with childlike anger and they won't care. So, like, what is it? You want to date someone who's 19 but have them act like a grown-ass person? That's not the way it works. That's not. It's bad enough you literally are old enough to be their father. Literally double the age to be their father, but you then want them to behave like a mature person who has had the benefit of wisdom, experience, and also your frontal lobe closing. That it doesn't work like that. And I don't understand. But again, these are the same men that are like, you need to submit, you need to do this, you need to do that. You want all the benefits. Yeah, they make you feel like you're young, wild, and free, right? But they are also young, wild, and free. So if you want a grown woman that's going to act like then date a grown woman. And if you want, well, you shouldn't even be dating a child. I don't care. Listen, he tried to settle. It didn't work. Listen, Positivity, happiness. Thank you so much for the super chat. Said Jonathan Majors, now Shannon Sharpe, weakest links never fail. Again, they do not represent Black men. They don't represent the men I'm raised by, the men I'm around, the men I think a lot of Black men can identify with those good Black men. But the whole thing is, I'm not turning this into defending Black men, it's just the point that Shannon got what he was looking for. Shannon got what he was looking for. You see what I'm saying? Again, Shannon got what he was looking for. Listen, let me get out of here. I'm going to find the documents. Put one in the comments if you guys actually want me to actually read the court documents, because baby, they are very, very juicy. I will say this, right? Where are we at? Well, that's another thing. Somebody said grown women are afraid of them. I honestly feel like if you are 54 and you are dating a 20-year-old, whether you are a 54-year-old woman or man and you are dating a 19-year-old, I think that just shows like a loser. I think it shows that you cannot deal with any type, like you do not have your mental where it needs to be with someone that can actually be your equal. It's weird to me. It's very, very weird. You want them to be oppressed by stuff. You want that type of control. You want the coercion. And it's weird because at the end of the day, you're still unhealed. You're not looking for a partnership. You're looking for a doormat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Listen, somebody said that Alaquandra, what's up, Alaquandra, said Hichi said, what's up, Alaquandra, said he'd been a target on his back for that Cat Williams interview. Now, here's the thing. I think two things can be true. I think that he probably did have a target on his back since the Cat Williams interview. I think there are a lot of jealous people that wanted to take him down. I think that legacy news and media is dying. I think that YouTube and other social media platforms are where it's at. I think that there is like powers that be, this and that. And I think that Cat Williams revealing a lot of stuff made a lot of people mad. A lot of people. That's sad. But were you doing it? It's like me robbing you blind, and then your mama, who never liked me, goes and breaks into my phone and sees the wire transfers, and then me being like, she ain't never liked me. She's been trying to tear us apart since day one. This could be true. This could be true. But were you stealing from me? Was my mama right? The fact that people were trying to screw you over, and the fact that you were doing something that would have screwed you over. Okay. All right. You know what I'm saying? I will say one thing. This isn't good. You tried to settle with this woman. And then once you saw Alex Spiro give Tony Buzbee the work, that's when you decided you were going to fight Tony Buzbee. I guess. Listen, who said that? Not one person said anything about Hugh Hefner, but I digress. Well, Strawberry, you are right. I mean, that's before my generation. And back then, people didn't talk about it. But we are in a new day and age. As of this point, from the Harvey Weinstein to the Bill Cosby, all the PERS were put on notice. This behavior is no longer acceptable. I don't care if that's how it used to be. It is no longer acceptable to pinch your secretary's butt, to do this, to do that, to literally have a house full of playmates who are basically trafficking victims and then act like that's cute. That again, society evolves. It used to be the fact that a man, if they caught their woman cheating on them, could murk them in cold and rage. And they would literally get like a crime of passion defense, and they didn't have to go to jail. Things have changed in how we look at women's rights. Things have changed in how we looked at relationships. So just because nobody spoke on it back then doesn't mean people don't speak on it now. And there are actually now quite a few documentaries on Hugh Hefner, who is dead, about all the shit that was going on in the Playboy Bunny Ranch. And then also even Playboy Bunnies have written stuff about it. So I would actually say that people are speaking about it now, right? Yeah. Again. And there's a lot of videos about and books about what a sicko he is, but he is dead. And Shannon Sharpe is on TV. So if you are on TV, you literally are subject to public opinion, especially when it comes out like this. You know, I'm just saying. Exactly. Thank you, Miss. Miss Binky said, he chose these problems. Exactly. Just because people are trying not to get you, are you going to give them ammunition? Just because your mama don't like me, Does that mean that I'm going to give her admission? Anyway, y'all, listen, I'll be back on live. Let me know what you think in the comments.